Good morning, class. I just want to say thank you guys for showing up today, taking the time with me to go over this lesson. We're going to be looking at a story today that has to do with themes of like anxiety, nervousness, things that everybody feels from time to time, and other themes like trust and confidence. Also, another word we're going to be talking about is mentorship or a mentor. Does anybody know what a mentor is? So a mentor is a person that you can look up to help get you through a specific situation or a specific problem that you might have, or helping you get to a certain goal that you're trying to achieve. Most likely because this person has already done that or they have experiences with that type of thing. And so those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about today in this book that we're going to be reading. And let's share my screen. Start this story. All right.
This is Cristino Alvarez for EDCI 3309, Module 1 project titled Thanks, Coach. Throw one! Throw one! Coach Chris shouted. Ah, too late, he muttered. Micah had fumbled the baseball. Along with a missed throw and a missed grounder, that is 3 errors in this game now. The 2 losses at the start of the tournament and dropping to the bottom place must have really gotten to him, thought Coach Chris. But Micah is their star shortstop, and this is the All-Star Summer Team. I've got to get his confidence back.
All right. So what do we have going on here? We've got a couple baseball players. They're out there on the field. One of the players, Micah, here is one of the characters in the story. It looks like he's having a rough time, right? He's hasn't been playing that good. He's had some missed throws, some missed balls, some missed grounders. That kind of got by him. He's just not playing at the top of his game. And so one of the reasons that maybe this is happening is the situation that he's in. The team has lost a couple of games. They've dropped down to the bottom place, and it seems to be probably bothering him enough to affect the way he's playing. And Coach Chris has realized this, right? And he's thinking, "Hey, man, I got to do something about this. Let's get his confidence going."
Thought Coach Chris. 30 years earlier, little Chris was 10 years old playing in the 5th grade district-wide volleyball championship. Coach Bush had chosen him and his friend Barbara as team captain. They were losing and he could feel everyone's eyes on him. He couldn't hide his knees shaking between sets, trying to be a part of every play to turn this game around. The harder he tried, the harder it felt. Time out! Called Coach Bush.
All right, so let's go back a little bit. So here we have Coach Chris, but now he's gone 30 years back, back to when he's 10 years old. And he's in a fifth grade volleyball game. And his coach, Coach Bush, chose him as a captain, him and his friend Barbara. And we could see also that Chris, little Chris, is also having a rough time. He feels like everybody's watching him. They can, he can't hide his knees shaking. Has anybody ever felt like that? That you've been so nervous that you feel like you can't control yourself, like your knees start to shake, or maybe your hands get all sweaty. Maybe you stutter a little bit, or things like that. Has anybody ever felt like that? All right. And so also we can see that he's trying so hard. He's trying very hard to try to turn this game around. And but the harder that he tries, the harder it feels like to be able to do something or to do the right things. And maybe he just keeps making mistakes. And Coach Bush realizes this, which is Chris's coach, and he calls a timeout.
The team came off the court and began to huddle up and drink water. How you feeling? Asked Coach Bush as he gently put his arm on Chris's shoulder. Not good, said Chris quietly, staring down at the floor. I don't know what's happening, Coach. It's like I can't control myself. And no matter how hard I try, I keep making mistakes. Chris looked up with a quivering chin. I can see you're nervous, and that's normal, Coach Bush told him. But this team looks to their captain to trust them. That will also help you be less nervous. Now let's get out there and have some fun with it. Come on, Chris, let's do this.
Okay. So Coach Bush, he wants to help Chris out. And so he asks him, first, how are you feel? What's going on? How are you feeling? And he wants him to feel comfortable, you know. Um, he puts his arm on his shoulder, just to show him that he cares. And Chris opens up and lets him know, hey, coach, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I can't control myself. I just keep trying harder and harder. I just keep making mistakes. And has anybody ever felt like that? That the harder you try and the more you try, the more mistakes you make? Uh, well, Coach Bush wants him to know, and as we should all know, hey, it's normal to feel like that. It's normal sometimes to get overwhelmed and feel like you really can't control what's going on. Obviously, it's going to make us feel nervous. But also, Coach Bush wants him to understand something. He wants him to understand that, using things like trust can help you feel more confident because he's asking him to trust his teammates. They've all worked hard together and they all got to that point together. So he wants them to trust him. And, putting that trust in someone else that you can count on, should help you feel a little bit better. He also wants them to know, like, hey, have fun. You know, whenever we do things like sports, music, things like that, we always want to try to have fun. If you're doing dance, the point is to have fun first, and then we go from there. Um, Even his teammate Barbara, she cheers him on, right? Maybe she even saw that he was having a rough time, so she wanted to cheer him on. That's important too.
Barbara cheered. Coach Chris was back at the baseball game. Micah had sat on the hot bench at the end of the dugout, staring at his glove. How are you feeling, Micah? He asked. Micah stayed silent, pressing his lips and wrinkling his chin. The sounds of the other kids in the dugout and the people at the game seemed to disappear. Taking a knee into the hard concrete, Coach Chris kneeled at Micah's eye level. Micah, I just want you to know that I trust you. The other coaches, and especially the boys on this team, trust you. No matter what happens, we are proud of you all. But these boys are going to feed off your energy because you are one of the leaders on this team. Now, you need to trust yourself. If you want this, go get it. Micah, Chavo, Arturo, bats and helmets, shouted the other coach, breaking the force field surrounding them. Hit a dinger, cheered the boys as Micah gripped his bat and made his way to home plate.
Right. So Coach Chris finds himself back on that baseball field, and now he is drawing from what he experienced with his coach, and he's going to try to do the same thing with his player. He wants him to feel comfortable. He gets down on his level. Um, he wants him to understand that first and foremost that he trusts him. He trusts his abilities, and that the rest of the team trusts him. You know, and also that he's proud of them. As coaches, teachers, and parents, when we see that that you guys are out there, preparing and getting ready for, whether it's a test, a project, whether it's a dance recital, a music recital, or it could be a team that you're on, if you play baseball or soccer, whatever sport you play, when you put the work in, your support group really can see when you've been trying to be prepared. And so they're going to be proud of you no matter what happens. They just want you to try your best and feel good about yourself. So then we see that now it's time for them to bat. And even, coaches or Micah's teammates, they yell out, hit a dinger, because they know that he's capable of, really going out there and give a good hard swing and hit that ball. So, when you know that your teammates, your friends, they're capable of doing something, let them know, encourage them, motivate them. It's going to make them feel better and they're going to have more success.
2 more days and 6 games later, Micah and his team went on to fight their way back into the championship game. The boys stood proud, holding up their banner in the hot red sand at home plate. Their medals gleamed in the Texas sun. Smiles and pride radiated just as much, if not brighter. No one thought they would even be at All Stars tournament, let alone the championship game. And games go as games go. You win some, you lose some, but you dared say that you were there.
Okay, so I guess it was worth it, right? The nice little talk that they had and made them feel good. They were able to win that game. And it was a long road, 2 more days of games, 6 games, but they were able to get back into that championship, right? So sometimes even if we get down, we get behind, that doesn't mean that we should give up, right? We can always work hard and get back into it. And it was worth it. They got into that championship game. Maybe they didn't win first place, but hey, they got there, even though some people didn't think that they could make it, but they did. And, also you have to be able to be comfortable to actually try and go out there. Have you ever felt, when you do something and you just feel so proud that you were able to accomplish it? Has anybody ever felt like that? If you haven't, then maybe it's time to step out of your comfort zone a little bit and try new things and put yourself in a position where you can make some progress. Somebody's going to notice that. Somebody's going to let you know, hey, good job. Keep it up. That's as a coach and as a teacher or a parent, you always want you want your kids. We want you guys to really push yourselves to try to be the best you can be.
You were there. These two true stories are dedicated to Cenizo Park Elementary PE teacher, Coach Bush. Cenizo Park is a school that has since changed its name and become an academy for young inner city boys. However, at the time of the story, this school was underprivileged in a rough neighborhood and made up almost entirely of Hispanic children, some of whom did not speak English. Coach Bush was a large Caucasian man who stood taller than anyone I knew at the time. He had a jolly disposition and a hearty laugh. He invested in the community, helping organize track meets, basketball, and volleyball tournaments for a district that a group of kids who otherwise would not have those opportunities. He loved teaching sports primarily. He took time to get to know his students. He made sure every kid had a chance to see themselves as the star quarterback, hitting the winning basket, or being the track star. He taught how it is also important to connect to your inner self by meditating quietly or expressing yourself through dance. And more, he put his students in a position to be confident and empowered them for their futures. Thanks, Coach Bush.
Okay, so here we have Coach Bush. He was my coach when I was growing up, and he played a big part of why I wanted to go into coaching as an adult. I didn't realize at first, but whenever I found myself in these situations, I often drew to experiences that I had with Coach Bush growing up, and so that's where we go back to the word mentor, mentorship, and a mentor, like we said, is somebody that you can look to guide you, even if they're not around anymore. Like I haven't seen Coach Bush in many, many years, but it's someone that you can really look up to. You can look to guide you, to give you advice, to draw inspiration from, to get to those reach those goals that you're trying to get to, or get through a certain situation that maybe you've never been in before and you feel uncomfortable with it. They can help you get through that. So Coach Bush was that person for me. I hope you guys have someone like that in your lives. I certainly definitely want to try to be that to each and one of you. If you guys ever need something and you want to come to me, my door is open. I'm willing to listen, and we can figure stuff out. And I just want you to feel good about yourselves and feel confident so that you guys can really be the best that you can be at whatever it is, whether it's dancing, whether it's your academics, or it could be a sport, music, whatever it is that you guys are trying to do and be the best you can be at. That's what we want for you guys. All right. So thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you for learning with me. I hope you liked the story. We'll see you next time.